Here we are. Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning, Anne. And you are not in Chicago.
I am not, but let's start our show and then I'll tell everybody where we are. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ann Rossley. I am here with Kyle Harvey. We're with Baird Warner, and we love to come and talk to you every week about Chicago real estate. We give you the scoop on what's really going on in real estate in downtown Chicago. And today, forgive my lighting. I'm usually really careful about my lighting, but I don't have a choice today because it's 5:30 a.m. I'm in the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas, and I am here for the leading real estate companies of the world in luxury portfolio conference summit. Contest was the result of conference and summit. And because yesterday's breakfast was for a poached egg and hot water was $47, I'm waiting for the free breakfast. So meantime, I'm drinking ginger ale that I brought from the airport. So
I'm the only one with the Kyle and Ann mug today.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So are we going to watch the sun rise behind you?
Yes, we are. I have a magnificent view over the Wynn Golf Course. I can see the strip to my left. And then, of course, I got the mountains behind me and the sun will be coming up. So hopefully that won't interfere too much. I am having a fabulous time. We're going to divert from our typical show this week because I don't have the typical stats, but I have other stats to talk about. This week, we are also going to do the balance of our condo quick questions. Then we're going to go into a viewer question that we'd like to answer. And then finally, we have a surprise. What do you call it?
Superstar Home of the Week.
Superstar Home of the Week. Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about where I am and what I'm doing. I'm going to share my screen with you here. For those of you who don't know, Baird Warner is part of leading real estate companies of the world, and this group they're the top independent real estate companies from each of the different marketplaces, and together we form a group where we share best practices, we send our referrals back and forth, and as you can see on the screen here, this group is actually bigger than all of the other groups out there, all the other companies that I'm not going to name right now. So it is a really powerful group of the top realtors in every marketplace. And I am beyond excited to be spending a couple of days here, actually 3 days, with these people learning and doing all kinds of, fun stuff. I want to share one other picture with you. And that is this one. This is a picture that shows the reach globally of leading real estate companies of the world. We are in 70 countries, have 135,000 associates. I think it's up to 150,000 now. They showed a new statistic on the screen yesterday. And so the luxury part is the part that I am attending this week. And these are all the luxury agents. And now I'm going to head into statistics. We had a luncheon yesterday where the luxury agents, and just to put it in perspective, last year when we met, we were the last conference in the Wynn Hotel before COVID shut down. Within 48 hours of our ending our conference, the whole strip shut down. We are this year the first conference to be able to go maskless. So all of the people here are those who have chosen to attend, who've been vaccinated, and there are precautions in place, and we're still social distancing. But it's really exciting to be back. So yesterday at lunch, we were talking all the different people. And it was really interesting to hear what's been going on with everybody all across. I talked with Michael Saunders of Saunders and Company. They are our partner in Sarasota. So
Excellent.
I was hearing all about what's happening in Sarasota and how they have no inventory because so many Chicagoans are moving down there. Talking to the people of Atlanta and how busy their business is. I talked to Denise from Halstead, and it was interesting to hear the Manhattan perspective. And she was very optimistic about them coming back. She said they haven't seen a lot of price declines in Manhattan. So very, very interesting to hear from them. And then I was with the head of the marketing company for the head of marketing for our partner company. Can you tell I'm so excited? I'm just talking a mile a minute.
And it's early.
North Carolina. Okay. And of course, everybody knows Asheville, North Carolina is off the charts exploding. And he was telling me about how their business, I mean, so, you know, we have inventory in Chicago, some fairly good inventory. There's some really tight spots, but boy, these other companies, they're crying with nothing to sell. So that was interesting. The other two cool things yesterday. The chief economist for leading real estate companies of the world is Marcy Rossley. She is one economist, you guys, that I could listen to all day, every day. She's entertaining. She's just so fun. And she was talking about the whole "are we in the bubble" thing. And it's really fun to hear her talk. And, you know,
are we in a real estate bubble?
Are we in a real estate bubble? Yeah. And she's, you know, she gave many reasons, and I'm not going to go into it now, but no, we are definitely not in a real estate bubble. She also said that the inflation that we're seeing, like with building materials, is a short-term thing. We're going to get over that. Just sit tight. Don't panic. You may want to just wait till prices, you know, resolve. But I wanted to give you a couple of statistics. And this was really interesting to me. Before COVID, people were saving about 8% of their income. During March, April, May of last year, they were saving 33% of their income because nobody had anywhere to spend it, right? Nowhere to go. We were all sitting home. We couldn't go to restaurants. Since then, people have been saving 12%. It didn't go back down to 8%. It's like it really taught everybody to save their money. So where are they putting this money? Well, they're not really putting it into the stock market, although some are. I mean, we saw it rebound, right? People put money in the stock market. They put it into bonds. But where else can you put it? You put it in real estate. So that's really part of what is driving this real estate market. And I thought that was really interesting.
People were able to save up down payments. People have been saving up down payments during this period, which is very exciting. Now, Chicago is different than the rest of the country, which is frustrating because you see all this real estate news out there and you think, wow, that's us. And the answer is no. So on future shows, we're going to talk about particularly the issues that you just raised around the country, but are happening here in Chicago. Chicago's had price rises for real estate, but they are nothing like elsewhere. And we are not in a bubble. We're just finally getting the appreciation that we haven't had for the last 12 years. I mean, it's really exciting. So, but that's great. Really interesting. You've got another point.
I have one more point. And I'm totally geeking out here. Okay. This photograph. Okay. On the far side of me, that's Elizabeth McGrath. She's head of our reload department. The woman in the middle here is Barb Stegeman, and she may be the most famous person you never heard of. Barb was the motivational speaker yesterday, and she wrote a book called The 7 Virtues of a Philosopher Queen.
Explains the necklace. Good.
Yes.
She was wearing a 7 necklace.
Oh, was she wearing 7 necklace? Okay. She was so funny. But she has developed the coolest bunch of fragrances that are clean. So they are BPA free, no phthalates. Okay. And she does it with fair trade in all these countries where she's really helping the local people develop their economy by, growing patchouli or, all these things. And she was, they sell it in Sephora. It's the only place where you can buy it online, but she gave everybody, it's called 7 Virtues.
Okay, but that's the name of the perfume line.
Yes.
Okay.
And then she wrote a book. She's a Stoic. Anyway, so everybody out there, I've tried her perfumes. They're really fun. And having met her and what a good person she is and how she's helping these countries and these people, it just was phenomenal. So
inspiring. Absolutely inspiring.
So inspired. And as you can tell, I'm totally geeking out by having met her. So
what are we going to do now? We're going to, shall we talk about the question that that one of our viewers raised?
Sure. Let's do it.
One of the great things is that you guys, in response to the comments that you see if you're watching this on our Facebook, you can ask a question, or you can put it into our YouTube where you see, I'm Kyle Harvey Shy on YouTube, and Rossley is
Rossley RE.
And Rossley RE, and you can put comments in there, and we find them and we answer them. So this was a question that a viewer asked, which I thought was really intelligent, especially with what's going on in today's Chicago market. This viewer has a condo in Little Italy, a cute 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo. It's in a 2-unit building, and she has the smaller unit, the downstairs unit.
The garden, okay.
And she wants to buy a house with 3 bedrooms, like everybody, or townhouse or house. Everybody's looking for this. So that's where the market is tight in Chicago. So the question was, and because we've said, listen, if you're selling, you got to have your mind on where you're going, because otherwise you may be too late. If you wait to sell, wait till you have a contract, you may not be able to find and pull the trigger on the buy unless you really time it well. So our advice has always been to time it. So Anne, what would you do? What advice would you give this viewer about how to time it?
Well, you started to give the answer, I think, when you defined her situation. She's leaving a place that has a higher market time to go to a place that has a shorter market time, right? So, Kyle, go for it.
My advice was, first of all, investigate the market time for your condo. What's happening in that area for properties similar to yours? If the market time is short, do it at the same time. List your property and house hunt, and do not be afraid, because both are going to go under contract quickly.
Right.
This condo is a perfect first-time home buyer in a great location near that hospital campus, university and hospital campus.
Right, medical district. Sure.
So it could go in a minute and a half, especially now that it's summer and now that open houses are back. It might go in the first weekend if it's priced right. So, but first is to investigate the hot market for your place. And then if the answer is it's, 30 days, start looking, because your place is going to sell.
Right. Well, if we weren't in such a hot market, you could do a home sale contingency, but nobody's taking those right now. And when you go to buy, you need to be free and clear of everything. So, my first thing would be go to your lender. And if they say that you can afford to buy the new place without selling your old place, then just move forward. Right.
This person appears to be doing, which is a really intelligent move, appears to be considering using some of her retirement savings for the upfront, for the down payment.
Okay.
And paying that back with the proceeds of the sale. That's why the timing is a little trickier, because you don't want
to close within 60 days of her. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be tricky, but really the first start is understand the market in which you're selling, because that'll tell you how on it you need to be to buy. And here's another thing. The market's going to start to slow down in July and August if 2021 is like other years. Now, 2021 has not been like other years for a minute at all this year because of coming out of COVID, the change, the market conditions, etc. But people go on vacation, and I think this year people are going to want to get out of town just because they can. So the key is get the condo on the market in June, so that we almost lost it. Woo! Get the condo on the market as fast as you can. So that was my thought. Do you have other thoughts? Anne has frozen. I'm alone here for just a second, and I'm telling her she has frozen. And she may need to reboot. So we may be going away for a minute and coming back, but we'll see. We'll find out in just a minute. So I can hopefully give you the, let's see if I can do this, share screen. The Superstar Home of the Week, Corey Crawford's, oopsie, now she's gone. But Corey Crawford's, let's see if I'm allowed to do this. I am not allowed to do this. So what we're going to do is pop off and come back, and we'll put this all together for YouTube. So thank you, and see you shortly.
Hi, I'm getting it back up. Sign back in, yeah. We'll go live right away. Oh, I'm back. You see me. Ha! I'm sorry, everybody. This is what happens when you go live. Oh, here comes Kyle. So I apologize. I guess what happens is Win makes you sign in every 24 hours, and I guess they kicked me off. So oops. We are live, just so you know. I didn't know that I was live, so hope I didn't do anything embarrassing. Anyhow,
you just froze, and I rattled on. So we've moved to answering your question. I was going to go to Superstar Home of the Week, thinking you'd come right back in, but we didn't. So
did we finish everything on that conversation?
No, we did. We did finish everything on our conversation, and now let's go to answering questions about condos. What do you think?
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so where we left off was talking about the pros and cons of a boutique versus a large, high amenity building.
Pros and cons of a boutique versus a high amenity building. Okay.
So by boutique building, we're not talking 3 flats. We're talking, 10, 20 units, a more of a boutique kind
even of 50, but not 200 or 300 or 500.
Here's an example of a what I consider a boutique building, a building I actually really like, 1035 North Dearborn.
Okay.
It's got 2 units per floor, and it's 20 floors, maybe fewer than that, and it's got high assessments because It's only 40 units or 35 units to spread this out over.
They have a doorman.
And they have a doorman, but they don't have much else. They don't have much else.
Right.
So what are some of the pros and cons?
Oh gosh, the doorman knows you. They know your guests. They know your family. They know your pet. It's a very comfortable community feeling when you're in those boutique buildings. And sometimes they give you some very personalized service, such as, bringing your packages to your door instead of having a big package room, or they go the extra mile to get you the cab and so forth, So it's also really nice when you only have a couple units per floor. It doesn't feel like a hotel when you're walking down. I'd say that
one of my friends, one of the reasons he likes it is because and he travels a lot, somebody goes in, he asks somebody in the building, the doorman or the engineer, to go in every couple of days just to make sure nothing has broken.
Yeah.
And, water plants, do things like that. It allows you, if you are somebody who travels a lot, to, it makes your life just easier.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. But larger building, there are great things of that. There's a lower assessment.
Right. Because more people to share the costs. Absolutely. More people to share the cost of the maintenance, one roof over all those people, for example.
Sometimes have more amenities.
Right.
Because they're a bigger building. And for some people, anonymity is nice. You can be anonymous. People don't notice your comings and goings as much as they would in a boutique building. And so for some people, that's important.
Right.
So what are some of the other considerations that I'm, for example, starting to see in certain buildings? There are certain buildings that are smoke-free now.
Yes.
One unit.
I had a client who, for health reasons, wanted to be in a smoke-free building. And there are only a handful. Now, all the apartment buildings nowadays, a lot of the new apartment buildings are smoke-free. And when we say smoke-free, we're not talking about just smoke-free in the public areas. We're talking smoke-free in your unit. And so think about it. It's kind of an interesting property rights issue, if you will, because they're taking away that freedom of being able to smoke in your unit. But, some buildings, they share some ventilation systems. And so the guy smoking, I lived in a building once where the people below me smoked, and it would come right up and into my unit. And, if that's bothersome to you, boy, that can be difficult. The thing about the non-smoking that I found, though, was not only were there very few buildings that were totally non-smoking, they almost were units where the property values, as if that inability to smoke. Well, I'm just thinking of two in particular, 2650 and 2626 Lakeview. There are no balconies there. So it's not like you can even step out onto your balcony and smoke. I mean, that's pretty strict stuff. So there are some people who just won't buy in one of those just because if they have a friend over, or, I guess technically now with vaping, you can't even vape, can you, if you're in a non-smoking building?
Is that smoke or is that vapor? I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know.
And now that marijuana is legal.
Well, see, that's it. And if you, okay, so that gets to another interesting health question. And I need to dig into this because if you, let's just say you're at 2650 and let's just say that you get cancer and the doctor prescribes the medical marijuana, even you're not even doing it recreationally. If you're in one of these non-smoking buildings, what does that mean? Because this, even no pet buildings have to allow therapy pets. Well, obviously they have to allow guide dogs, but emotional support animals, they are required to let in, even in a no pet building. So that's rather, interesting. I guess, what does that say? The lines are blurred.
Well, I guess if it's a medical thing, you can show, because that's an ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act issue. But there's also pot brownies. I mean, there are other ways of ingesting marijuana. But so anyway, the answer is that is probably going to be spelled out over time. But that is going to be an issue in some buildings.
So did we talk pets yet?
Huh?
Did we talk pets yet?
No, I was just teeing that up for you.
Okay, go ahead, talk pets.
Well, I teed it up for you. Pets, yes or no?
That's a consideration. That's a consideration. And you know what? When we, like in the Gold Coast area, and when I started in real estate, it was mostly no dogs, or if you had a dog, it had to be like under 35 pounds, right? And there's still buildings where it has to be under 35 pounds. But people are more open about dogs. Everybody seems to have dogs now. More and more buildings are allowing dogs, allowing big dogs. And they're also getting so dog friendly that they're having dog runs. They're having pet wash stations. They're having dog play areas. The St. Regis has this whole play area and wash station for the dogs. I mean, it's going crazy. So, and people are starting now to go, what do you mean? You don't have a dog walk? So.
And one of the things we're finding is that large dogs often don't bark as much as small dogs. And so all of a sudden, the issue is not size, the issue is noise. And especially in the building that you've lived in and I live in currently, it's a noise issue in addition to, among other reasons, for having no dogs. So,
and there's some buildings that allow cats only.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the tramping up and down of the dogs, So we see that.
The Carlisle won't even allow lizards. They won't allow birds. They will allow no pets. So
very few of those full no pet, but the Carlisle is probably the one that comes to mind the most, is being so strict.
Yeah. And smells. We've got on our outline here of top things to do about condo buildings. Smells. Tell us what you were thinking when you put that in there.
Well, it's something that people don't think about, but some buildings, you walk in and over the range is the microwave with the little filter. Okay. So it doesn't vent out, right? Paper thin walls, or maybe it's a building that has that ventilation thing again that I was talking about. And so when your neighbor makes a fabulous curry dish, you get to enjoy the smells right with them. And for some people, that's problematic. And sometimes you notice when you're showing property and you can tell as you walk down the hall that you smell it. And in that case, the client will know. But other times, if they don't ask or investigate a little and that's troublesome for them, they get a nasty surprise after they buy. So it's something to consider.
Now, the next topic is noise. And one of the properties we sort of like to feature sometimes are timber lofts. Tell us about the noise issue with timber lofts.
Oh my goodness. Well, so in a timber loft, if it's a true timber loft where it's that original beautiful flooring, it used to be a manufacturing or a printing plant or whatever, you just have one layer of wood between you and the guy below and the guy above. And I've heard clients tell me they hear the conversations of their neighbors. They hear the flush of the toilet. So they're sexy, but you really want to beware. And I've heard that one particular West Loop loft is very loud.
Yeah. But they're beautiful. So you got to decide what you care about. If you're a little deaf, maybe it's okay.
Play your music loud.
How easy? So one of the things that we think about, and I've got clients who are looking right now, and the issue is how easy is it to do construction in the building? And some buildings are very good about that, and some are not. What do you know about this, Anne?
Yeah, no, it's the same. That's my experience too. Some require you to actually give them architectural plans and, so forth. And it's very difficult. They may even have a committee that you have to take the plans to and get approval, yada, yada, yada. And And then there are buildings that are really cool about it. One thing I have found is there are some buildings that have contractors who've done a lot of work in the building. They trust those contractors to know what they're doing. And that, that's a great way to be able to get it done quickly and efficiently without as much hassle. So every building has its own rules. And if you think you're going to do work, you need to investigate that.
Yeah. Packages.
Oh, packages.
I mean, that's become an issue.
It wasn't a big deal before, and it is so a big deal now.
So I picked up a package last night as I came home, and there was a package in our package room. It was 110 pounds. It was written on the side of the package. And I'm like, I don't know how anyone's going to get that upstairs. I mean,
right.
I don't know what it was, a boulder of some kind.
That should be like a delivery instead of a package, for heaven's sakes. But okay, so we've seen so many, it's fallen on a lot of the doormen to take care of packages. But here's the thing, when you move, if there's no doorman there, you need to figure out what's going on with those packages, because they tend to just sit around and there, but for the grace of God, your package sits there until you pick it up. You have to rely on honest neighbors. Some of these high rises are getting some cool systems in place where they have special lockers where you can get your package. Other luxury buildings will deliver the package to your door.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. It all depends, and you should investigate if that's important to you.
Yeah. So we have noticed that some very fancy buildings, which I love, have guest rooms where you can, if you have a smaller apartment or you don't particularly want your guest wants some privacy, you can leave sort of like hotel rooms.
Yes, my building has those. We have 3 rooms that actually are like hotel rooms, where they've got little kitchenettes and bathrooms, and our guests can stay there. And in the case of my building, it's $150 a night, which is very reasonable for downtown Chicago. And yeah, that's a great amenity to have.
Roof decks.
Yeah.
So in older buildings are starting to develop beautiful roof decks. I was just recently at 2440 Lakeview, which has taken just a big old roof and made a very nice space with beautiful lake views.
Nice.
It's lovely. But it's a lot of walking to get up there.
With the older buildings, it is. And even, along Lakeshore Drive, 1300 Lakeshore, 1440 Lakeshore, those are lovely buildings and they have great roof decks, but you still have to walk up that one last flight of steps to get there. And, a lot of people may not want to do that if you're carrying food and whatever. The newer buildings will all have elevators that take you all the way up to the top, but there are some magnificent roof decks in this city, right? Love them. With grills and pergolas and plantings and herb gardens, even, where you can pick your herbs for your cooking.
And you don't have to do anything to make that happen. The building provides it. It's really quite lovely. Here's an issue that I'm finding is an absolute deal breaker for so many buyers: the in-unit washer dryer.
Oh yeah.
There are a bunch of buildings that were built that do not have risers that can handle the flow, the amount of flow, and the suds and the lint that goes through. So they can't have them.
Right. Like 1550, for example, they finally allowed them, but you can only put them in if you're using the kitchen riser. You can't put it in the powder room or feed off of a bathroom because it's just not enough. Yeah, so that really puts it, makes it troublesome for people.
Yeah. And
even the low flow, like, the energy saving low water ones, they still won't let you do.
And here's the thing: if your building does allow a washer dryer, but you prefer to use the unit downstairs, the laundry room downstairs, great. But if you want to sell and you want to sell for top dollar, you got to put it in. I mean, don't don't have the plan so somebody else can do it. You got to put it in. I mean, I'm just going to be straight up. Yeah. how competent is the board? Is that an issue you ever investigate for your clients, for your buyers? How competent is the board of directors? How functional versus dysfunctional?
Yeah. The same thing like with the managers. It's something you'd like to know. I don't know that you ever really find the answer to that, do you? I mean, I
think you can find out if, so we spend time listening and asking around because people do, there is the scuttlebutt. You can also Google things. But usually buildings with big reserves and have reserve studies and have all of the competent, the documentation that shows competent management, those tend to be that are well run and with consensus among the board, not the board, but with the residents. So there's a happier environment when you've got a competent management of the place. Anyway, enough of this. Let's go look at fancy superstar home of the week. What do you think?
I love it. Let's do it. Show me.
Okay, so share screen. Share screen too. No, I don't want to share screen. I want to share
application or window.
Application. Let's see if that's application. Okay, well, we're just going to share this and let's see if that works. Did that work?
You're on, baby.
Alrighty. So
home of the week.
If I move it over here, does it still work?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is the Superstar Home of the Week. I don't know if you all read, like I do every Sunday, the real estate section of the Tribune, but they said Corey Crawford is moving and he's put his fantastic $5.3 million home on the market. And so, of course, I had to go investigate because that's who I am. So this is the Superstar Home of the Week.
Goalie for the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Superstar. Just retired. This is that beautiful Hayden. Fantastic new construction. I think, aren't there two of them or is there only one? Anyway, of these buildings, they're beautiful buildings at 1109 West Washington. This is on the market for $1,000 under 5.3. It is 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths at almost 5,000 square feet. It's one where when you take the elevator up, you're in your own private foyer.
Yeah, nice.
The HOA is 2,000, a little over 2,000, 2,100, for a building that only has a doorman. Okay, obviously to handle security and packages. So not a high amenity building, but security and 2 parking spaces.
He's paying his own utilities too, so it's almost $2,200.
But remember, this is a small building. This is the
we were talking about. We were just talking about, yeah.
But let's look. So you come. This doorway here is his private elevator.
Okay.
Private foyer. Come in to the downstairs and look at that pretty staircase up. It's a duplex, as you can see. But I thought so. This kitchen shot does not show you as much as the other kitchen shots, but it shows. Who doesn't want big windows in their kitchen? Look at all that light. And it's an open kitchen to a great room. This is the family, I think this is what they call the family room. And with that deck, you see beyond. Fireplace, there's a little, you can see, I don't know if you can see my little cursor moving. There's an office right back there. It's very pretty. Nice deck. Ooh. Really. Yeah. This is the main bedroom. Look at that view. So pretty. A nice big room, too. Who doesn't want a bathroom with a window? I love it. First of all, you don't see looking in, but you get all that natural light. Helpful.
Very lovely.
Yeah. And then here's some floor plans. So look at all this terrace. Living room, dining. Oh, I didn't do a picture of a gym, but he's got a nice gym back there. And so that library office has windows too. They didn't give me a good picture of it, or I would have shared that with you. And then upstairs, all these bedrooms. Some of them are small, but hey, there was a lot of nice space.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful apartment. So that's our superstar home of the week. I bet you it sells. I bet you it sells this week.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I've got today.
Love that. Well, again, everybody, I apologize for our mid-show blackout with our crazy internet, but I appreciate you sticking with us. And we had a good show. We talked about the marketplace. We talked about how to buy and sell and move up. We talked about condos, and we had the Superstar Home of the Week. So we had a lot to cover, and it was a pleasure seeing you, Kyle. Looking forward to coming back to Chicago and seeing you there.
Have a great trip, and I look forward to hearing more about this exciting conference in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's been a blast. We'll see you all next week. Please send us your comments, your questions, so you can be on next week's show. Take care.
Bye.